This is the story of a girl they bullied for, looking different. Now, she's one of the most famous faces in fashion. Winnie Harlow was once hiding from the world, so how did she end up changing it? The truth behind her rise will surprise you. From shame to spotlight. Winnie Harlow, whose real name is Chantel Brown Young, was born on July 27, 1994, in Mississauga, Greater Toronto. When she was 4 years old, she was diagnosed with vitiligo. This is an autoimmune condition that causes white patches to appear on the skin. Her childhood was nothing like other kids. Vitiligo isn't very common. It affects about 1% of people in the world. But back then, no one really knew about it, and there was no representation. Because of this, people were scared of her condition, and kids were extremely cruel. At her school in Etobicoke, they used to bully her badly. They called her names like cow and zebra, and even made animal sounds at her in the hallways. This wasn't just normal teasing, it was harsh verbal abuse. She had to change schools multiple times because of this, and eventually she dropped out of high school. She also went through depression and even thought about ending her life. But through all this, her family played a huge role in keeping her strong. She has shared how, when her first patch appeared, her mother and grandmother told her that her differences were beautiful. They always said that she is so much more than she covers. These words gave her strength during times when she felt completely alone. She used to say that she never saw anyone like me on TV, and because of that, she felt completely alone. What kept her from breaking down completely was this inner voice, which her family had given her, reminding her that she is not just her skin. She later said, "I don't think my skin condition affected my self-esteem as much as the people around me affected my self-esteem." This helped her build resilience. She learned to have thick skin not because of vitiligo, but because of how people treated her. When she was around 16, something big happened. A journalist from Toronto, Shannon Boodram, saw her photos on Facebook and invited her to be in a video. That video got over 150,000 views. Shannon was the first person who told her she could become a model. Winnie has said those early posts were never really about her vitiligo. They were simply about being herself. This online attention changed her life. In 2014, Tyra Banks saw her on Instagram and chose her to be on Cycle 21 of America's Next Top Model. She became the first Canadian finalist ever on the show. Even though she didn't win, she broke fashion industry norms and brought attention to inclusivity. Winnie's journey from being bullied to becoming an international model is truly inspiring. But what really made her who she is today are the choices she made. She didn't let shame control her. Instead, she used it as her strength. She stopped letting others define her and chose to define herself on her own terms. A viral breakthrough and Tyra Banks' call. In 2014, she posted a photo on Instagram that changed everything. The picture showed her skin just as it was, with no filters or hiding. It went viral. That one post caught the eye of Tyra Banks, the creator of America's Next Top Model. Tyra reached out to her personally and invited her to audition for the show. When Winnie went on the show, she didn't just walk in like any other contestant, she made a statement. For many people watching, it was the first time they saw a model with vitiligo. Just by being there, she challenged the old and narrow ideas of beauty. Even though she didn't win the competition, she got something much more important. People finally saw her, and she wasn't hiding anymore, turning no into fuel. America's Next Top Model opened the door for her, but it didn't mean everything became easy. After the show, many people in the fashion industry told her she would never get real modeling jobs. They thought her skin condition was just a trend or something to talk about for a while. But Winnie didn't see it that way. To her, her vitiligo was her strength. Instead of trying to fit in, she focused on what made her different. Fashion, for her, wasn't about looking like everyone else. It was about standing out. In a world where people were tired of fake perfection, Winnie was like a breath of fresh air. Her hard work, confidence, and strong belief in herself slowly changed the minds of people who doubted her. Soon, all those rejections turned into requests. A star on global runways, Winnie's rise in the fashion world wasn't slow, it was powerful. She started walking the runways for some of the biggest brands in the world like Dolce & Gabbana, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Tommy Hilfiger, and even Victoria's Secret. Designers didn't just hire her, they truly celebrated her. She was changing the whole idea of what a model should look like. For so long, models were expected to be flawless, almost all looking the same. But Winnie broke that pattern. The same skin that people once laughed at now made her stand out as one of the most recognizable faces on any runway. And every time she walked down that catwalk, she wasn't just doing it for herself, she was doing it for everyone who had ever been told that they didn't belong. The critics and the courage. Of course, not everyone celebrated her rise. Along the way, Winnie has faced criticism, some even from within the vitiligo community. Critics questioned whether she represented them fairly or whether the fashion industry was exploiting her difference. But Winnie's response has always been honest and poised. She doesn't claim to be a spokesperson for everyone. She claims her truth, her journey, and her platform. And in doing so, she opens doors, even for those who may disagree with her. She reminds the world that progress is messy. It's not always perfect, but it matters. Entrepreneur, innovator, icon. Winnie's impact goes beyond photo shoots and magazine covers. She stepped into the world of business, launching her own skincare line, K-Skin, in 2022.
I decided that I was going to create a brand that specialized in SPF sun care that protected your skin.
Inspired by her personal experience with sunburn and the lack of inclusive SPF products, Winnie set out to create a brand that truly serves all skin types, including those with conditions like vitiligo. Her brand is more than a commercial venture, it's a mission. It reflects her lifelong belief that every person deserves to feel seen, cared for, and protected. And with K-Skin, she's delivering empowerment in every bottle. A final word on power and possibility. Winnie Harlow's life reminds us that the traits people mock today might be the ones they celebrate tomorrow, if you believe in yourself enough to stay the course. She took the very thing that once made her a target and turned it into a superpower. In an industry that once said, "You don't belong," she didn't wait for permission. She carved her place and invited the world to catch up. Winnie Harlow was once bullied for her skin. Now, she's unstoppable.